let's talk about these brand new LEGO Star Wars sets coming out on May 1st. These are, of course, review copies sent to me early from the LAN, so thank you very much for that. All these opinions will be my own, because who else would they be? I wasn't very excited about this one initially, but after building it, oh my gosh, I have some things I gotta tell you. This one was pretty much what I expected, and I think it's well-rounded, so let's get into it. I want to start out with the BARC Speeder Escape, and then we'll talk about the Sith Infiltrator, so if you want to watch that part, just skip ahead a few minutes. We've got set 75378 with 221 pieces and 4 minifigures for the first time ever, Kelleran Beck, who is the Jedi that apparently saved Grogu, as found out in Chapter 20 of The Mandalorian, which can be found in Season 3. Kelleran Beck here has a very impressive torso print with all the details on the tunic underneath. He also has printed legs and 2 different colored lightsabers. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this is the first dual-wielding Jedi that we've seen since Ahsoka. Our next minifigure is our tiny little Grogu in the pram. Pram build looks very nice, and it will fit into that sidecar, which I'll show you in just a moment. Here we have 2 501st troopers, nothing too special, other than the fact that they're not specialists, which is kind of nice to get some more regular troopers. But getting 2 of them in a $30 set is nice. Now, what I thought was so funny were all the comments about this little lamp post, because technically this is the first ever Jedi Temple build that we've ever seen in LEGO. It's pretty crazy how important Coruscant is to Star Wars, and yet we've never gotten. These birds are getting out of hand. Stop being so happy. Anyways, got that taken care of. It's a super simple build, and I'm just glad they threw it in. On to the main attraction is this BARC Speeder with sidecar. And like I said, you can fit the pram straight into the sidecar on 2 studs, and then rather than using that odd A-frame bar that you see in the 2013 sidecar, this one just attaches on with some of those Technic pieces. You can see 3 stickered elements in the back, rather comfortable seat for Kelleran Beck, and 2 of those new stud launchers in the front, which I'm personally not a fan of. Whoa. Since the seat is so nice, there's almost enough room for his cape, but I still prefer to put the cape swinging out back, that way it doesn't get bent. Then again, it's a spongy cape, so it probably wouldn't get bent anyways. Now, I made the mistake of watching this 7.5-minute video of all the Order 66 scenes from all the movies and shows combined, and it really did something to me. So if you want to really challenge yourself, try to watch that video without crying. On to the next one. There's a lot to say about this set. This one is set number 75383. It has 640 pieces and just 4 minifigures. Now, just by looking at it, this might not look like $70, and I tend to agree, but there are some caveats. First of all, this set has no stickers, and for as compact and downsized as this ship is, it actually makes it way more swooshable, and the play features are very seamless. Before we get to that though, I gotta talk about these minifigures. What's so weird about this Darth Maul minifigure is that he doesn't have pupils printed on his eyes, and I gotta hear your guys' opinions. Do you prefer this, or do you think it looks weird? Since this is a 25th anniversary LEGO set, it only feels right to compare the first ever LEGO Darth Maul on this speeder to the one that we're getting here in 2024. And I gotta say, I kinda prefer the nostalgic old version. And I'm gonna second that. I like pupils. Why does the Darth Maul from 1999 just look so much better? I think a cape and a hood would have gone a long way, and despite him just wearing black robes, the updated print isn't really all that great either. Up next, we have Qui-Gon Jinn with the poncho, which I love to see. Star Wars made ponchos kinda cool, and having those additional accessories on Star Wars minifigures is always welcome. I just wish they would start putting some cloth on clones. Up next is Anakin Skywalker with a completely updated face print and torso, and a recoloration of Harry Potter's hairpiece. And then we have the 25th anniversary minifigure, which I still can't even believe this is real. Saw Gerrera, not only as a LEGO minifigure, but check out his printed cape piece. This part was not shown on the box art, so that totally took me by surprise, and it was something that I was really excited to share with you guys. You'll recognize that shoulder piece from Wrecker and from the Buzz Lightyear figures, but all of the printing on this dark green figure just looks fabulous. Being that he is a pretty extremist guerrilla warfare tactics kind of guy, it was understandable why LEGO maybe didn't want to make this character due to his violent nature. But I'm glad we got over that, because this figure looks dope. It'll come on that 25th anniversary stand, which will look really nice next to the other 2 that we have so far. Now let's talk about this Sith Infiltrator, which happens to be one of LEGO's favorite ships, because this is the 9th time that they've made it. Before we get into it, I just want to say that I either wish this set had 1 or 2 more minifigures, or that it would have been a different set entirely for the 25th anniversary, since we've never gotten the Nabooan Royal Starship. With 640 pieces, this is a very highly detailed model, told it has been downsized because I want to show you what a similar piece count could look like. This is the 2015 model with just 20 or 30 pieces more. Like, get a load of the size comparison. And when it comes to swooshability, yeah, the little one's definitely gonna win. It makes you wonder where all that money went though when you can get such bigger parts, but then I gotta say, Lego is best when it's built small scale and high detail. These larger sets definitely have their appeal and will always have a place in my heart because of their nostalgia. More on that later. We've got some retractable landing gear which folds up really nicely, and when it is out, it does kind of tilt the ship forward. On the front here, these two ingots can be pressed down to fire the two spring-loaded missiles out front, which is always a nice touch. I prefer spring-loaded missiles over the stud shooters anyways, so I'm glad they put it on this even though it's such a small ship. You can open up this middle section to drop in the 3 probe droids, and there's a really clever but simple mechanism on the bottom in order to release the trap door and drop those probe droids out. It even has this little rubber bit to prevent it from flying open when you're just swooshing it around and playing with it, or just putting it on your shelf, you know, which is something that I definitely appreciate. I can't say that I've seen such a simple but effective mechanism used on another playset before, so I like the addition. The cockpit section is the actual ship though. If you were to cut off the entire front, you would just be left with a TIE Advanced prototype. We have a printed cockpit piece on top, and this is just so satisfying to open. You could fit Darth Maul in there on his own, but I kind of like how the bike fits perfectly and everything closes up really nice and snug. You can see what I'm talking about with all the extra details around the cockpit with all of these curved tile pieces, and of course you have these really nice wings that open up for flight mode. Lately, Lego Star Wars has been making a lot of smaller scale sets, kind of like the dioramas, and I haven't been a huge fan of those, but if it's going to be play scale ships with minifigures that are actually highly detailed, I'm kind of digging this. The fact that there's no stickers and the inclusion of this Saw Gerrera minifigure are kind of the icing on the cake, but if there was anything that I would change, it would have been to have either added in a Padme and Panaka minifigure or an Obi-Wan minifigure just to get a little bit more value there for the $70. Additionally, I don't really like the way this nose looks. The overall shape is just so different from what I'm used to seeing, and on this 2016 model here, this is really the nose section that sticks out, and then you have a long and sleek hull, whereas this hull kind of has a big schnoz. I am more than satisfied with the play features and the build of this ship, and it really just comes down to if this is on your wish list for May 1st. If I had to choose between the two, well, of course I'd go for the bigger one, not just for the collectible minifigure, but it's a bigger set. Now, will Lego fulfill my hopes and dreams of never putting stickers in a Star Wars set again? Probably not. But hey, we can dream, can't we? Anyways, let me know which of these two was your favorite, and if you're planning on picking them up May 1st.